Okay, this is OCR Level 2 in sport, and we're looking at Learning Objective 4 in the exam unit. So Learning Objective 4 is all about the role of a national governing body in sport. So a national governing body means national means in the nation, governing body, so they govern the sport. So they oversee that sport within the nation. Okay, so that is their role, and different sports have different ways of doing it. So for example, one is the ECB, another one is Badminton England, England Netball, the RFU, LTA and the FA. So they're sort of your 6 most common national governing bodies. Okay, so ECB is England Cricket Board. Obviously these state what they are in their names. The RFU, the Rugby Football Union. The LTA, the Lawn Tennis Association, and the FA, the Football Association. Okay, so these individuals govern the sport, so oversee everything to do with that sport in our nation. Okay, so cricket, badminton, netball, rugby, tennis, football, and obviously there's loads more, volleyball, England hockey, so there's a few more as well, but they're tradition ones, and you might need to know, might ask you to state them or what they do. So, the role, okay, a couple of key things. This is sort of their job description of what they do. Aim is to promote the sport, to develop the sport further, build the infrastructure and look after the infrastructure, update and make sure that the policies are in place and bring in any new initiatives for that particular sport. Look after how they fund themselves and how they fund clubs and areas like that, and how they support the sport. So promotion. So their aim is about mass participation and giving equal opportunities to all. So 2 areas that they want to promote. Mass participation is making sure that it's accessible to as many people as possible, and they're given equal opportunities, so not excluding anyone. So that's part of the national governing body, no matter what sport. A good example of this is in football, they now do something called walking football. Okay, that's designed for people, OAPs, so people who have retired from work but still want to keep active. So, because they're trying to give equal opportunities no matter what age, race, religion, gender, and beyond. Okay, so it's about mass participation. One of their aims is to promote and through that increase the popularity of the sport. Okay, that's one of their roles. So they might have someone who works within the FA or within the RFU, that their role is to how they're going to increase the popularity of the sport. So they might come up with initiatives. And they can do that through local clubs, they can do that through schools. Okay, they might give schools flyers saying there's a new under 13s girls football team available, and they're going to promote that sport through schools or through local clubs. For example, maybe Poole Town. They might go to Poole Town and say, look, we want to get more females in the game. We want to get more disabled football in the area. So they're trying to increase the popularity of that sport in the area. And then they're looking at exposure. So part of promotion is actually public relations, talking to the public. What does the public want? Okay, using the press to help them. Okay, papers, advertisement on TV. Because remember, it's all about promotion of the sport. So linking it back to that promotion. And then obviously we just mentioned using the media. So getting good exposure, positive exposure to the sport. The second area, what we mentioned, was about development. Okay, so it's about developing people participating in sport. And it comes under sort of 4 categories. So you've got your foundation level. This is where mainly you're going to have mass participation. Okay, so we're trying to get as many people involved. Foundation level is your core PE lessons. Okay, the lessons that the government say they have to have 2 hours of PE per week, or 4 hours over the fortnight, or at least an hour a week, depending on your age. And there also comes in your recreational sports, so promoting and developing recreational sports at this level. Okay, so you're looking at recreational sports such as going to the gym, just a casual swim. Okay, these are generally non-competitive, so non-competitive in general. And then looking at participation level. So participation level, the difference between these two here is now this becomes a bit more competitive. So you're now looking at local clubs that might play in local leagues. Again, remember, we're aiming to develop the sport. So we're looking at participation. Can we get more people involved in local clubs, which is a slightly higher standard because it's a competitive environment. You also might represent your school. So you might actually, I enjoy my PE lessons because they're recreational, you're learning. You enjoy just going swimming, but I want to make it competitive. So I'm going to go to my local swimming club. Or actually I might represent the school in their local leagues. So it's about now they're developing from a foundation to a participant. So they are wanting to do extra. Then we step up and we look at performance. So we're now looking at a high level. You notice the pyramid gets slightly smaller. So now we're a little bit smaller because it was not going to appeal to everyone. It's a bit more time. It's looking at people with a better ability, a higher ability, going up the hierarchy. So now you might look at regional teams, okay, representing your county, okay, or Wessex, and which is going to be run by higher qualified staff potentially, but it's going to be harder competitive. So it steps up again. The competition is going to be harder because you're going to be faced people of a better ability. So now they're on about developing the county level of sport, the regional teams. And then one up from that, you're now looking at the professional or elite clubs. So teams that you end up as, might represent England. So someone's job it will be to develop the elite side. So the England football team, the England under-21s, be it rugby, netball, football, cricket. Not only the national team, they also link up with professional clubs and say, what can we do to help you get more professional elite players? So the elite is looking at the top level, and that's why this bit's the smallest part of the pyramid, because they're dealing with smaller numbers. It's higher intensity, and you're playing against people of a high level.